I'm Herks. I'm Harry. My partner, Harry Lyons, advertising cartoonist, and Boston Tribune.
And my partner, Bob Herks, international playboy.
Well, Harry, this is the last show of our brilliant but somewhat tarnished radio career. It has been fun and interesting, and maybe we'll be back next year if anyone will have it.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Bob. I've heard a lot of comments, and I think, we'll just have to wait till next year to see. Bob, why don't you fill us in on how the fishing turned out, the final standing?
Well, we make it a point in this brilliant fishing show to very seldom mention fish. But I think in the wrap-up that we ought to say who did win, and that's the reason we're here, of course. In first place, the local team number 27, the HAB Bay Fishing Club number 1, with 1,023 points. And I think that's the first time any team has gone over 1,000 points. Right. Second place, team number 38, Kauai High Fishing Club, team number 3, 924 points. In third place, team 68, the City of Santa Monica, with 906 points. In fourth place, team number 26, Hawaii Big Game Fishing Club, team number 11, with 897 points. And down in fifth, the Aussies, team number 9, 889 points. And in Ahi, Rufus Spalding won it, followed by Arnold Palmer. And now, Arnold Palmer? Arnold Baldwin. Boy, we're sharp tonight.
Yeah,
and I think Gary Player was in there with a Ahi or something. And now, who is besides me, who is the Herks and Harry hero of the tournament?
Well, Bob, the Herks and Harry annual Hero of the Tournament award was eagerly sought after this year. Anglers literally fell over one another to provide the goof-ups and snarls and a jolly good belly laugh for all. A few were outstanding, I think, Bob. Of course, Clint Ashford is discussed elsewhere in this edition. He was a very strong contender, of course. You can read about that on another page. And an early leader in the Laughing Derby was Freddie Rice, who at the beginning of the week must have wished he'd brought his polo mallet to Kona instead of his rod and reel. As we said here before this week, Freddie lost his rod and reel on Monday, and he misplaced his boat on Tuesday and caught a monster marlin on Wednesday, but on his team's day off from official fishing, so it didn't count in the scoring. But our final choice, it took a lot of head scratching and quite a few drinks on our part to come up with this one. Our final choice as the hero of the tournament is Fearless Freddie Gartley, the Kaneohe Yacht Club team who fell overboard, as you remember, while trying to take in a big one.
Harry, he's got a new name, doesn't he?
What is it, Splash?
Splash Gartley.
Yeah, I understand they're calling him Splash Gartley around it. He did pretty well. He only went about 100 yards out. I understand he was a beautiful sight in there, bow-legged and trying to grab a hold of he did hold on to the rod and reel, of course. He clambered back aboard. They hauled him dripping wet back and fought another 20 minutes, and then great, dramatic finish. He lost the fish. So I think to Fearless Freddie Gartley goes our Hero of the Tournament award and the prizes that go with it. One pair of Dunditty water wings, a jar of Lydia Pinkham seasick pills, and a fish and wildlife raft and survival kit. So I think that takes care of the hero of the tournament. We're going to present those awards to him tonight. Bob, why don't you just say a few words about Johnny Peacock and his Royal Hawaiian Air Service?
Well, Harry, you know that John has done a real service during this tournament by taking up photographers at the start of each day's fishing to record the tournament. And he's provided a service back and forth for anglers that's been well received. Of course, you and I and a lot of other guys fly that great airline. It's the Royal Hawaiian Air Service. And I urge you all, when you're coming to Kona and back, odd hours, give John a call. Now, Harry, would you like to introduce today's guest?
Yeah, it's a real pleasure today to have with us the Air Force team, Hawaii, the fishing team that goes aboard the Falcon each day. And we have with us tonight not one but three guests. Chuck Krugel, who is the skipper of the boat and leads the team, George Buta, and Dale Newton. One other member, Chuck Collins, couldn't be with us tonight, but we, of course, enjoyed fishing with them today. We went out on the last day, what they call the tagging day. We didn't have a chance to tag too much, but we enjoyed it because these are really a fine bunch of guys, and I think are very representative of the not only the Air Force but all the services here. And and we're very happy to have him at the tournament. Chuck, as I recall, you took second place in the tournament last year, and with a very close finish, and we were sorry you didn't have a little more luck this year, but could you give us some of your impressions of the tournament? How did you enjoy it?
I thought it was very well organized this year. I enjoyed most of all the day off. Give us an opportunity to kind of get caught up on our lack of cocktail hours.
Right.
But, I enjoyed the tournament very much. Very well organized, and meet a lot of real nice people over here. This is, of course, you always have a chance of possibly catching a record fish, which I guess most people come over here for.
Right.
But, I enjoyed the tournament very much. Sure did.
Well, Chuck, I think that this year we not only saw a new record for the number of fish caught, but I think we also set some new cocktail party records, would you?
Oh, I think, yes. The Mai Tai consumption, I understand, is a new international, not only national, but international record.
All tackle record.
The orchid crop is severely down.
I mean, records were falling along with anglers,
right?
All day.
But Chuck, I can't recall. Of course, I met you last year at the tournament, along with Colonel Harry Seeley, I think it was. Who was were you the skipper last year, or was
No, Colonel Seeley.
Colonel Seeley? And is this an entirely new club you have with you this year from last year? I believe George has. You fished before them, have you not? Do you recall last year's team offhand? I don't know whether you remember who it was.
Oh, yes. Bob Ventura was on the team last year. John Kelly, of course, myself, and Colonel Seeley, who was the captain of the team. I
do remember, of course, one of the most dramatic things in last year's tournament was the huge marlin that you brought in. I'm not quite clear on which day it was. Was it the last day of the tournament? No, it was not.
Thursday.
Third day of the tournament. And how big was that one, Jim?
516.
516. That came in. It was an especially dramatic thing visually, I remember, because we knew you had it on and you fought it for a long, long time. How many hours was it?
7.
7 hours. And they put the lights on down at the pier, of course, and waded in. And I was, to me, that was the greatest thrill of last year's tournament, really.
It was a very dramatic moment. Harry, I think you had Mai Tais on for about 8 hours in this tournament, didn't you?
Yes, I think that was the new standing or lying down record.
Lying down. George, do you have anything that you'd like to say about the tournament and how it was handled and your impressions this year?
I must agree with Chuck. I really enjoyed myself. Sorry to see the tournament come to a close. But fishing wasn't too good. This is the way it goes. However, everything else very well coordinated. Watchdog again did a tremendous job.
Yeah, they did.
Our sister services. I think on the whole, everything was quite copacetic and very well run.
I'm sort of curious, George. I wasn't here in '62. How did your team do? That was the last time you fished with the Air Force team, wasn't it?
That's right. In 1962, we placed fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, they've got a good record in the tournament.
Yeah. Bob Ventura came through with a 692.
Oh,
I remember that one. Yeah.
Wow. That must be about the second biggest in the tournament. Yeah. All time?
Second or third place?
For that year?
That year, the Navy one.
The Navy won with an 800 and something.
Yeah.
Leo Brown, I think.
The Navy took it within 30 minutes of the start of the tournament. They had to fish at the dock and weigh in it.
Holy, I remember this.
Quite good work.
Harry, let's ask Dale how he thinks feels about this last day off. I know it's great for us because it gives us a chance to compile the scores and so on and so forth. Of course, we don't do it till the last minute. I think this day off before the awards banquet's a good deal. Let's see how Dale feels about that.
Did we fish on Saturday last year? Was that we had fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. Harry, I didn't remember that part of it.
No, I drew a complete utter blank on that. Well, how do you feel in general about having the day off?
Well, it was good to have the day off. Of course, had made up my mind to catch a real big fish before the end of the tournament, and it would have been nice to have the day for the last day, so I could have had that big fish recorded. But of course, didn't catch it.
That was the only problem.
Well, it's of course it is really fair for everyone. I've heard a lot of discussion pro and con on it, and it's just, I guess it's your luck if you happen to be off on a day when fishing is pretty fast and happen to fish when the day is slow. But George, I heard kind of an interesting thing about you today that you have a few performances you go through to bring a fish to the boat. Is this true that what is it, shaking tea leaves or shaking your pulley, or what is it that you shake? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, I'm non-denominational. And we try to bring the fish up, shaking tea leaves, shaking a pulley, offering them beer, almost anything. We don't care. But most unsuccessful.
Yeah, well, this year was tough on a lot of teams. It was a very hot fishing year. It was kind of rough on the Air Force this time.
Well, Harry, before we close the show, I want to thank all of the 8 listeners that KEKO has had over the period of the week.
Thank you, Mother, and our wives
and sweethearts. And I had one guy stop me in the street and said, "Hey, I listened to your show the other day, so I was trying to get Aku, but, well, we are kind of a fishy show."
Yeah.
And I think they've given us some pretty good service up there at KEKO, and I hope they have us back. And on one sad note, though, Harry, is that you note that we haven't had any more Matty the Marlin series. Well, he got caught yesterday.
Oh, he was caught. Do you remember?
I talked to Matty briefly at the pier.
He was a 77-pounder, I think it was.
He's been very clever all. So no more scientific reports from Matty the Marlin. Maybe we'll make another contact with Davey down there in the lockers next year. But,
right. Well, we'll figure out a few new features, and I think in about a year's time we can come up with at least one new idea, don't you?
Yeah, we'll probably wait till the last day, and like we always do. We're always so prompt. Maybe over a couple of games of cribbage. That's one thing we haven't done.
No, not too much. No.
That's pretty sad.
I can't fit that mindset glass into the hole on the board.
I think that's what ended our first cribbage game. The cards kept getting wet because the mindset was flopping all over the bar table.
Well, Bob, I'd just like to thank again Chuck Krugel, the skipper of the Hawaii Air Force Hawaii team this year, and George Zuta, who was with us, and Dale Newton. And it's too bad Chuck couldn't be with us, but thanks an awful lot again, Paul, because we enjoyed being with you very much and having you on the show. And so until next year, I guess, I'm Herks. And I'm Harry.
Aloha.
Aloha.